Welcome back. I am coming to you mostly barefaced in my big comfy sweater because Texas decided to have a little bit of a snow day. So today I am coming to you like I have nothing planned for this video. It's more of just like a divine message, I think, that kind of came to me last night. I was going to bed, and when I was sleeping / when I kind of woke up, it's just this message that I had, and it's kind of more like a memory with a message inside of it. So I wanted to share with you guys a story because I hope that it'll kind of uplift you and maybe just help you if you are in a hard place right now, because I feel like a lot of us are kind of in a place. I know that I am. I've definitely been in a rough patch for like what feels like definitely all my life, but for sure the last 6 months, and for sure like January has been a roller coaster of emotions for me. So I could definitely use a shot of serotonin. What I really wanted to share with you guys is something that happened to me, and then I'll get into like the meaning behind it. But so I wanted to share the story of the first time that I decided to move across the country. Halfway across the country, I wanted to move to Texas the very first time. And basically what I did was I was like going through so many different things in my head, I guess, kind of as you do when you are learning how to be an adult and learning how to function in the world. I was going through so many different things where I felt like I needed to quit my job and end my relationship, my long-term relationship at that, and sell all of my things, pack up a suitcase, and then move halfway across the country to start my life over. I was in that kind of new stage where I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I should be over here. This feels right to me. And so I did that. It was very emotional, especially when you are just like ending everything out of nowhere is kind of what it felt like. And so I was really, really emotional. And so what I did was I bought my one-way ticket, and wow, I feel like I'm shaking just sharing this story. I arrived at the airport super, super early. I said goodbye to my mother, and all of this was like emotional because I'm like, man, this is a big decision for someone my age. I was 20. I was 20. So it was a really big decision for me. And so I remember I was sitting in the airplane. I was shaking the entire way. Like I had not let myself really cry. I was like, I'm going to be strong. Everything's going to be fine. But I was going through a lot. And I remember I got into the airplane. I got into my seat. And I remember I was just staring out the window. Oh, I feel like I'm about to cry. And I was just crying so hard, staring out the window, because I was like, man, my life is changing so much right before my eyes. I'm leaving everything I've known for my entire life behind. I'm starting a new chapter, and I don't know what's ahead. And also, I left my relationship. I left my little brothers and my mother, and everything was just so crazy at this time. And I was ugly crying. Like it was like I let a tear drop, and then it was like full on ugly cry. Like we're doing this right here, and meanwhile there's two other people in the seats beside me, and I'm just crying. And it was great though because it was silent, but I just was like my entire face, like, and when I cry, like my whole face swells up. I can't breathe. I got snot running down my face, and I'm just ugly crying at this point. And they were doing like the last check before takeoff. The flight attendant, she looked at me, but she didn't really like make eye contact with me. She just saw me and she just walked by, and as she walked by, she just had like to the side just a napkin or a tissue for me, and she just didn't even really look at me, gave me the tissue, and then I just looked at her and I just took it and I just held on to it even though I was still like ugly crying. But in that moment that this woman handed me this tissue, I felt this connection with her, and it's really, really hard to explain. But I felt this connection that I still feel to this day. Like it was like extreme gratitude. Like I don't really know how to explain it. Like she was observing that I was upset. She was helping me. And I was just so incredibly grateful just for her presence, just for her to notice, just for her to acknowledge me. And this memory is such a small part of my life. It's such a small little memory for me, but it's something that I've carried with me to this day, and I think about it all the time. And I think about it all the time just because I'm like, I still feel the same feelings that I felt that day. Like, I still feel so much gratitude for her. And I don't know what her name was. I remember what she looked like. I remember the feelings exactly. I could put myself back there right now, and I can feel all of the emotions still. And I'm just so grateful for her. But the reason that I wanted to share that specific story, the meaning behind me sharing this, is because I wanted to let you know that if you are having a really hard time right now in life, if you are feeling like, you don't belong, or you don't have a place, or, you don't really matter, if you feel like that, I want you to know that somewhere in someone's memory, you remain there as this amazing, beautiful person. Someone somewhere is so incredibly grateful that you are here and for your presence. Someone somewhere remembers your exact face. They may not know your name, they may not remember everything, they may not remember what you're wearing, but somewhere was infected by your smile or your laughter, or they thought you were the most beautiful person, or that you were handsome, or that you changed their life in some way. And I say that because I am a firm believer that we in this life are all somehow connected. We're all connected. We all have a timeline, and somehow we're connected, whether it's just someone we just see on the side of the road, someone we walk by in this grocery store, even if we don't even acknowledge them, they've hit a part of our timeline. And that woman, that flight attendant, she remains in my timeline because I was supposed to meet her, and she affected me. And you are somewhere in someone else's timeline, and you are living there as this amazing person, and you changed their life somehow. Like I said, whether it was your smile or your laugh or maybe a silly joke, maybe you did something really funny and embarrassing and it just made their day. You are so important to this world, and you don't even realize it. And that memory is something that I like to bring up because I matter, because you matter, because we just don't realize how much we actually have to offer this world. And I know that it's really hard to think about that in times where you're really sad and you're really struggling, but it's just amazing to think about how you feel like this little speck in this giant ocean, and how you just don't matter. But man, you don't realize that even though you feel like a grain of sand in the ocean, you are actually the entire ocean. And that's just what I wanted to share with you guys. I don't know if that made sense, if it was relevant, if it hit you or not. Maybe you just think that I'm pretty crazy, but it's okay. Because it's just something that I felt like I needed to share, So have a wonderful, beautiful, safe day. And just remember that you are so loved. And I will see you guys again very soon. Bye, guys.